Theresa May will have her pen at the ready tomorrow to mark in the calendar that it's exactly a year until Brexit. But she'll also be able to add a gold star from one of her fiercest critics, the MP Nicholas Soames. A few weeks ago he called her vision dull, dull, dull. Now he's told Newsnight he thinks she should stay on to fight the next election. So has a combination of the appearance of a Brexit plan that seems to have found favour in Cabinet and across the Channel, and her handling of the Russian crisis changed her fortunes. Here's Nick Watt.
Total rejected votes.
You would be devastated, wouldn't you, after that terrible result for us?
A strong and stable Prime Minister.
She was probably lacking a bit of confidence, a bit of preparation. I think the fact that she had this difficult journey will make her much more stronger and much more determined.
Just under a year ago, Theresa May was in a perilous position. Now there is a wholly different atmosphere in the Conservative Party. As she marks 1 year until Brexit Day with a tour around the UK tomorrow, the Prime Minister has a new confidence in her step. It's all a far cry from late last year when the Brexit talks appeared to be in danger of unravelling. Now the Prime Minister has won unprecedented international backing for her stance on Russia, agreement with the EU on a Brexit transitional phase, and the publication of EU guidelines for the future trade negotiations. But there are at least another 6 months of hard slog just to agree in full the terms of withdrawal, and the Northern Ireland border has yet to be finally resolved. So, a year on from triggering Article 50, how is Theresa May really measuring up?
Basically, she came into herself, and I think now she's become a much, much more self-confident person. I don't think she sort of completely imagined that she was going to be Prime Minister. And I think when it happened, I think it took her by surprise. And therefore, in a sense, she was probably lacking a bit of confidence, a bit of preparation.
She's done it. She's got this far. She's done very well. If you were looking at it 6 months ago, you would say it was almost impossible we should get here, that the whole thing would have fallen apart. It hasn't fallen apart. And she has very skillfully pulled together a coalition which is just about going along with everything, which, given the extraordinary complexity and difficulty and our tiny majority in the House of Commons, is in itself a remarkable achievement.
Cabinet ministers have told me the world is now seeing a different Prime Minister. One Brexit-leaning minister offered a seasonal analogy. Until now, the Prime Minister has been beavering away on Brexit under the surface, and you haven't seen it. But now spring, even if a rather rainy one, is here. The sap is rising, and the depth of the Brexit plan is in plain view.
There is a visible, tangible feeling of confidence about the Prime Minister and the government. Her Mansion House speech went down extremely well with all sides of the party, so the Conservatives are as united as you could expect them to be. And the end point seems to be becoming increasingly clear, which is the matter of greatest concern to me.
Newsnight understands that in Whitehall, the Prime Minister's approach to Brexit is being described as a combination of humility and self-confidence. Humility because proposing what she calls a deep and special partnership with a club we are planning to leave is a big ask, but confidence because all sides in the end would benefit from that close relationship. One figure who knows the Prime Minister's mind told me her goal is very straightforward. Brexit means Brexit. Just. This approach would worry Brexit supporters.
There is no market for a technical Brexit. That if the Prime Minister were to deliver a technical Brexit, the Remainers wouldn't cheer and say, oh, that's absolutely marvellous, we're delighted. They would still think it was Brexit. And the Leavers would all feel that they had been desperately let down. So the prospects for the Conservative Party in a technical Brexit would be appalling. let alone the interests of the nation, which would not be served by pretending to do one thing when you're doing another. So I really don't think this as being a political likelihood or in the national interest.
The change in Theresa May's fortunes mean that some Tory MPs are now taking a benign view about her future, even if, as expected, the Conservatives suffer a setback in the local elections in May.
I believe the Prime Minister will lead the party into the next election. And I think she's done extraordinarily well. I think the idea that you just sort of dump her, you know, after she's done it, I think she's done very well. I really do. And I know the Tory party is sometimes quite quick to give people louding reception and then kick them out the side door. I do not think that is going to happen.
Labour is unimpressed.
I think the problem is that this Prime Minister will drift if issues are difficult and if decisions are difficult. And she's still trying to pretend that a fudged form of words can keep everybody happy. In the end, it can't. There are real decisions that have to be made, and we've still not heard from the government what its real objectives are in this negotiation, whether it's on customs, whether it's on immigration, on so many different issues. And so you can't just drift in this way. It might be difficult, but in the end, if you're the Prime Minister, you have to make some decisions.
After a hard grind through the winter, Theresa May's fortunes appear to be brightening up. But bumpy roads lie ahead with the local elections and the Brexit negotiations.